Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Sermon. It is the first Sunday sermon in quite a while, and I am very excited to see Amanda Giorgetti joining us this morning. If you'll do me a favor, and as you jump on here, drop us a grateful Fed in the comments and say hello and tell us where you are watching from. I have not played with my media in this. I have not been on live in quite a while. I think I did a little live at the beginning of last month to give away a free party pack, which I'm very excited to give that away from Grateful Fed. And as you jump on here this morning, please tag a friend, do the things it says below. We are doing our Sunday sermon today, and the topic of our Sunday sermon today, I'm going to get into that in just a second. I'm waiting for a few more folks to jump on here. There's Elizabeth Clark. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have, it's been a minute, right? So I actually have everything written out today because I want to be cognizant of your time. I also want to ensure that the message is not lost in my rambling, because that is something that I have been working on over the last couple of months, as well as kind of being in my shell. I know a lot of you have been in your shell, but I am live today in a couple of places. So tell me where you're watching from. Which page are you watching from today? Are you watching from my personal page on Tammy Nelson, just me? Are you watching from Grateful Fed? Or are you from the community on YouTube? We are going to do these Sunday sermons on Sundays around 10:30. I know I'm a little late going live today, but I always say time is imaginary. We're right on time as always, and we're gonna dive right into it. Been here for about 2 minutes already. I can't believe it's been 2 minutes already. But we are gonna jump into it. So for those of you who have been here since the beginning, welcome back. For those of you who are new, I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're watching this now live, if you're watching this right now, you're on my page. Okay. So you're on my page watching it. Elizabeth Clark was watching from Crew, Virginia. I'm not sure which page she's watching it on. But I know watching on my personal page, beautiful. I appreciate that so very much. If you guys could stick with me today, I hope that you will enjoy the message. It is, like I said, I did take some time and I went through and I highlighted it and I made all my graphics. And so I hope that you will take something away from this today. And so if you're new to my page, let me just kind of go through what we're going to say here, and I'm not going to get off topic. I get very, I love a side quest. So this is trying to keep me from having a bunch of side quests, but still be interactive with my audience, and still answer questions, and still comment, and still be me, but to make sure that the message is delivered in the way that it matters. Because one of the reasons why I stopped going live last year is because I had so much in my head, I just needed to get it on paper. And so what I've spent the last several months doing, good morning, is getting into my journaling, getting into my papers. So like I said, so whether you have been here from the beginning or you're new, I'm glad you're here. Welcome back if you've been here from the beginning. If you're new, thank you. So if you're like, hey, you're the lady that makes the food in my area, why are you talking on a live? Why do you have a Sunday sermon? My journey to the Grateful Fed came through kind of a spiritual awakening, and kind of my understanding that there's a message in the mess, and bringing that and sharing that with folks has been a big part of the journey of what we do here. Yeah, I'm the motivational caterer. That's why I'm the Grateful Fed Catering Company. So Sunday sermon has always been a space for reflection, motivation, and sharing lessons from the journey of life, raw, unfiltered, and always from the heart, right? So even though I am reading off, I've written everything out and kind of like put it into place in a format that makes sense, it is still 100% from my heart, from me. I dictate into my phone for like 30 minutes and kind of channel a message, and then I'm like, help me put this in a more digestible format where it's not just a bunch of rambling. So I am very excited to be here today. Heather, I am so glad to see your face. I've missed Sunday mornings. I have missed you all, and we're back. It's the first Sunday of 2025, and here I am. So let's talk about it, right? I took a hiatus last year because I firmly believe in integrity, right? We talk about that all the time. Living in alignment with what I think, what I say, and what I do, right? That's what I believe integrity is. It is walking in a path which living in alignment with what I think, say, and do, all being congruent, being the exact same thing, right? And honestly, I was in the throes of a personal shadow period last year. It felt disingenuous to try to channel a message when I was still buried in the mess of figuring it all out. What I've come to realize is, though it's just a mess, it's like I said before, if you're new here, you've not heard this, but if you are someone who's been around for a while, my message hadn't come through my mess yet, so I was still in my mess. So, if is that your mess is just the mess is the prelude to the message, right? The mess is just the prelude to the message. And I knew that the message was going to be powerful coming out of last year because of how, I feel like there's lows and highs. And I feel like sometimes the darkest of days are the prelude to the brightest of days. So that's probably the stronger, the mess is, the bigger the message is. And it was a mess, right? So after a whirlwind year, I'm ready to share mine. So that's what today is about. If 2024 had a theme for me, it was 100% captured by the ornament that I bought for our Christmas tree this year. So every year, Red and I kind of buy an ornament that is indicative of our year. And this year's ornament, I bought as a dumpster. It was a dumpster with fire coming out of it in the year 2024 in the dumpster fire, and it says, "I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine." And that's exactly what 2024 was for me. I felt like it was craziness, and it's like you kind of like the phoenix. My phoenix. This is my other business, but my phoenix is kind of the same thing, rising out of the ashes. And so that's why the dumpster fire was so important, because out of that dumpster fire, something beautiful was going to come from that, right? From the ashes brings beautiful things. This 2024 was a year for the record books, financial struggles, personal challenges, a lot of questioning. Why me? Why me? Right? But out of that chaos came clarity. And today I'm stepping back into the space with fresh lessons and new perspectives, right? Today I'm back with Sunday sermon. I've got our crystal cards ready. I have smudged. I have Palo Santo that I burnt. I am ready to take a deep breath and exhale and kind of share with all of you about what last year looked like and the lessons that I hope that I took from it, and that some ways to help you take those lessons away if you're maybe dealing with the same thing. Because that's why, when your mess is a prelude to your message, and when your mess creates your message, you're ready to talk about it. So here we are. We're going to talk about what it means to shift from force to power. For me, force was grinding in my business, micromanaging outcomes, and holding on to control. And these things came from my journal. I'm like, where am I operating from fear? What are the things that I'm seeing? And I'm going to encourage you, if you're struggling with something, what I did was I sat down and I was like, what are all the words, just free-form words on the paper about the things that I feel like I'm terrible at, right? What are the things that I suck at? Why am I being a failure? Just get it out of my head and into paper. If you're still kind of in that place of feeling like very, like you're still in your mess and you have not found your message yet, I'm going to encourage you. I've talked about this before. Get it out of your head and onto paper. It's kind of like, if you don't do that, it's like trying to put a puzzle together that you've still left in the box, right? You can't find the corner pieces. You can't organize it. You can't get it put together and figured out. So if you are struggling with that, I'm going to encourage you to do this. Like, this exercise is great. Take it from your head and get it onto paper, right? Get it out of your head. Get it out of your head and onto into some kind of paper. And as you'll notice, I was going to, my plan, right? My force was I was going to get up this morning early, have my coffee, maybe even make a little breakfast, shower, put all this makeup on, My face literally aches today from my flare up of lupus. You see my little butterfly, all the rashes, all the swelling, I was like, you know what? I'm not forcing. I'm standing in my power. This is me, raw, real, and unfiltered. So that's what you're getting today, right? So all the things that I thought I failed at, the micromanaging, the outcomes, the holding on to power, all those things that I thought I was doing terribly, I got out of my head, right? Now, power, on the other hand, what are the things that, like, where do I do things right? What is power? Where am I standing in my power? Standing in the, sorry, sometimes reading this is not going to be better. Power, on the other hand, is standing in your truth, committing to the process, and letting go of the outcome. It's about trusting that when you're aligned with yourself, with your purpose, and the universe, things flow naturally, right? And that, I put that on paper, was what do I do well? And when are things going right? What are the things that I'm noticing? It's that when I am in alignment, when I am trusting, when I am knowing that if I'm in integrity, everything just falls into place. And that is faith, right? That is faith. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a minute, but I'm going to tell you this. Faith is the tenement of any belief system. We don't yuck anybody's yum. We don't boo anybody's beautiful. So whatever your word is, whatever deity you prescribe to, that is your business. This is a place that is safe for everyone. And I believe that basically the do no harm, love thy neighbor, be a kind, good person, do the right thing is pretty much the basis or the foundation of all world religion or spirituality or whatever you want to use. I say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. And so I also felt some kind of way about saying that last year, right? Forcing myself to kind of fit into everybody's box versus just being aligned and authentically me. I wish you no harm. I will come with people to church. I will go with people to mosque. I will go with people to temple. I will sit in meditation. I believe that everyone's walk is personal, right? And that I don't judge you for that. And I hope you don't judge me for that. I'm going to also share a little transparency about my journey with the business, because that's kind of where I was out of alignment and where we're at now. And, a lot of what I tied my personal worth and value to, and that's ego. We'll talk about that another day. But my first lesson came from working with my mom about business, right? What I know about running a business came from working with my mom. She was a free spirit, and she ran things day to day. I would say she would throw it up to the wall and see if it stuck, right? And that worked for her until it didn't, right? And watching her taught me what not to do in a lot of ways, but it also showed me the importance of working from my heart, right? So my mom led 100% with her heart. And this past summer, one of the people that came to work here was Barbara Malteus, who ran Grady Bees. And she, she's known me since I was a child. A lot of what I learned from her as far as, business and kitchen. And she worked with my mom. They worked together. She worked for my mom. I worked for her. So she very much understands it, understands what mom taught me and all the things. And one of the things that she told me this past summer was, you can't give it all away. And that's the worst thing your mom ever gave you, right? Your mama left you the want to give it all away, and you can't give it all away. And so, but she showed me, I'm like, and then I started guarding my heart, right? Because I started letting those kind of things that people said get into my head. Not just, it was a lot of people. My dad would say it. Everybody's like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. Red would say, you got to do this, you got to do that. Instead of me saying, I am working with an alignment, I started believing that the thing that was within integrity to me was what was causing me to be a failure. In my opinion, like I wasn't failing. I just wasn't making the money I needed to make to keep the business open. And so I started feeling very much like, oh, well, this didn't work. Like me working from the heart space and making sure that like all of the heart missions are met was not always in alignment with making sure the business was running in the black, right? But last year I realized I'd inherited more of her approach than I thought. I threw things against the wall to see if they stuck. And now I'm in the process of balancing heart with dollars and cents, because both are vital, right? And so as you walk through this, don't think that it's just, oh, it's all one way. There's also you got to think about things, right? You have to be here, and you have to start working in alignment, right? The journey to make those things in alignment and understanding that, number one, your value. I have to understand my value. And that is standing in power to understand value versus forcing. If you're forcing something, you're never going to see value in that. But when you operate from a place of integrity, from a place of power, you can start recognizing those things and being actionable about the next steps, right? So all that being said, that's going to lead us into today's sermon, which is a reflection on that journey. It's about the process of learning to stand in your power and how to navigate the space between passion and practicality. I know a lot of my Sunday sermons were very much impractical, and some people would say, like, oh, that sounds good in theory. And I never understood it because I was operating from, I was in alignment and I was in flow, and I didn't see that. And I think last year was a good check. And it was the fact that maybe my ego wasn't as put to bed as I thought it was. And so the universe taught me some lessons last year that were needed, even in the suck. I appreciate those lessons. And so today we're going to talk about that. So today's reflection is a journey on that. I hope it resonates with you wherever you are in your own journey, right? So let's dive in. So let's talk about where was I at? I had a thing. Okay, here it is. So, for me this last year, it was recognizing that I have to change. All of us change because even if it's, you think, oh, I've done this great transformation. I've changed. I'm a better person, all the things. But as we grow, like every day, I want to get up and I want to evolve and change and to learn and to exponentially grow and to raise my vibration and my frequency every single day. It's not about resting on your laurels, right? So you have to recognize that you cannot become who you want to be by remaining who you are. So let's start here. Everything we do, think, or feel is born of two places. Two places, right? Faith, which is rooted in love, or fear, right? Faith, love, and fear. Faith is rooted in love, right? It's recognizing that. Fear is restrictive. Faith is love. Faith and love are expansive. They're big. Like they grow. Like if I'm going to grow and become something different every day, I want to expand in faith and love. Fear is restrictive. And the difference between power and force lies in which of these we choose to align ourselves with. Can I get a hallelujah, amen in the comments? Can I see some comments here? Everybody follow along. Can I get a whoop whoop? Comments help. The algorithm helps people find us. I think a lot of people were last year too, Heather, but hopefully this year we help you get out of it, right? So fear is restrictive. Faith and love are expansive. Which do you want to align yourself with, right? Which one do you want to align yourself with? Okay. Let's talk about power, right? Power is rooted in faith. It's born out of love and trust. Power doesn't need to control or manipulate. It simply is. It's a quiet confidence, a knowing that you are supported, that everything is unfolding as it should be, even when it doesn't feel like it, right? Power is not faltering at the first sign of trouble. That's what I knew last year when things were not going the right way, when I couldn't operate from a place of power. I knew that I wasn't operating from love. I was operating from fear. And it showed, right? Power, this is my favorite line, and I put it up here. Power flows because it's aligned with truth and integrity. It doesn't demand, it trusts. How powerful is that, right? Power flows because it's aligned with truth and integrity. It doesn't demand, it trusts. I'm going to turn this volume down. I'm on a live. I can't talk to you right now. Sorry. I got to turn this down. Sorry, y'all. My phone's ringing. Sorry about that. So that's a channel. That's a line that I pulled directly as I need a definition. Power flows because it's aligned with truth and integrity. And that is what I want to operate from, right? Always operating from truth and integrity. It doesn't demand, it trusts, right? It doesn't demand, it just trusts. Don't you love that? I mean, I think that is a powerful statement, right? Now, force, on the other hand, is rooted in fear. It's born from the belief that we are not enough. These are all the things I felt anyhow, right? This is from my perspective. That the world is against us and that we have to fight, manipulate, or control to get what we want. Force is exhausting, it's heavy, chaotic, and creates resistance because it's out of alignment with who we are to our core, right? And that's the same thing. I'm exhausted. I kept saying that, and this is what came from that. Force is exhausting. It's heavy. It feels chaotic. It creates resistance because it's out of alignment with who we are to our core. My whole thing, let's get in alignment, right? I love this. Power flows because it's aligned with truth and integrity. It doesn't demand it trust. Force is exhausting. It's heavy, chaotic, and creates resistance because it's out of alignment with who we are at our core. And nothing could be truer than that, right? And that's exactly how I felt. This brings us to a powerful truth. Faith is where trust comes from. Faith isn't passive. It's not about sitting back and waiting for life to happen. And this is where I was like, how do I trust, but not, you have to make things happen. And now I think a lot of us live in this space, right? And this is the biggest lesson right here. This is the lesson right here. Faith is where trust comes from. Faith isn't passive. It's about sitting back. It's not about sitting back and waiting for life to happen. Faith is active. It's about taking aligned action and then surrendering to the outcome. It's about trusting that even if you can't see the full picture yet, something bigger is at work. Faith says, I may not know how, but I know it's coming. And that's what I like. That's how the first 3 years of this business I operated from, right? I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew it was. I just knew in my heart it was, because I was so in integrity with what I was doing. And I feel like as far as I went this way, I went the opposite way last year. And I'm just being real with y'all. And here I've sat the last several months working and being actively, right? Not passive, but I have been taking aligned action and surrendering to the outcome. And I said, even if tomorrow I have to, and I had to close a bunch of stuff last year. That was me taking aligned action, was taking the SKUs down and working with less clients at Hometown OB, selling the food truck, Red taking the job out of town. Those were all steps. They were not passive. We didn't just sit around and let nothing happen. We had to make aligned and inflow and integrity decisions that were hard. Even if we thought, at the moment I thought the sky was falling. The sky is falling. But we did it. And we said, I may not know how, but I know that it's going to be okay and that it's coming. When we operate from faith, or we operate from power, we're choosing faith over fear. We're choosing love over control. But when we're forcing, we're choosing fear. We're operating from a scarcity mindset, clinging tightly because we don't trust that things will work out, right? How many people have done that this year? How many people have tried to force, and this is resonating? Can I get a hallelujah amen if this is something that you've dealt with this year? I feel like a lot of us deal with this on a regular basis. And Heather says, my biggest struggle right now is living in a world that has such different views than myself, and understanding that they don't have to align with me. I have to move forward and make my own line. And, here's the thing I'm going to tell you. I'm going to talk about, this is going to be something we talk about, which is interesting you said that. Okay. You cannot control anything other than you. And that is power. Power versus force. When you believe that only thing that I can control, only thing that I have power over, right? Power over personally is my choices. Do I choose to operate in integrity and to trust and to stay in my practice and have that faith in my heart, and knowing that I don't know how it looks. You know, and a lot of this stuff that, you know, has come through has been on everybody's mind, right? The world seems very much right now, especially the United States, as us versus them, when we have to recognize that we are part of a collective whole, and we are either all of God or nothing is of God. So we are all collectively one. So it's not us versus them. We are seeing the ugly in the world that we are perceiving. So I have stepped away from that and recognized that we are all one collective humanity, and that working, and I have to align myself so that I make that stronger, better, that one, that whole, that collective whole better. And the only part of that collective whole that I can make better or choose to be better and power and stay in my power and in alignment and all these things is me. And trying to work and change everybody else is forcing, right? We just have to stay steadfast in our alignment where what we say, think, and do are in integrity, in a way that I'll talk about it. I'll give you some steps on how to do it. Okay. All right. Let me be real with you. Last year, I spent a lot of time in force. I didn't realize it at first, but I was gripping so tightly to outcomes. I thought I needed that. I created resistance. The thought that I needed that is what created the resistance, right? So what I'm saying is that a lot of times we create our own reality by the way in which we operate. I was forcing my business, my relationships, and even my self-worth. And let me tell you what, it wasn't pretty. Things started falling apart because I wasn't in flow. I wasn't in power. I was in fear. And when you feel that way, that's a lot of fear talking, right? And I didn't even recognize it. Like, I look back at some of my sermons, like that came from fear. That came from forcing. That came from, you know, these places. And that was in the imposter syndrome. And when I had to really stop and take a breath, and I had to realign, and I stopped going live, and all the things, right? So what are the steps? How did I work through what I did? Okay, so here's some things. So number one, recognize where you're forcing. Recognize where you're forcing. Ask yourself in all situations, right? Am I acting from love or fear? Am I flowing or am I resisting? Be honest with yourself about what you're gripping to and where you're gripping tightly. Awareness is always the first step to a change, right? I used to talk about this. Knowing is half the battle, right? So recognize what you're forcing, where you're forcing it. You can do that by asking yourself some questions. And I'll be glad to send anybody that wants a copy of this in writing. I've got these. The reason I'm writing these also for 2025 is that the universe source in my alignment, I've been wanting to write. And I think that the universe, I don't recognize when things are working out for me, even when I feel like things are happening to me versus through me. And through this whole mess, I really got back into journaling, writing. And I'm going to tell you, if you're struggling with journaling or writing, utilize online tools. I'm using ChatGPT, and I talk into it and I give it my entire everything. And it's like a diary for me. And I say, here's all the things. I just need it organized in a way that it's a journal entry for me to go back and have it bullet pointed so I can kind of see the main points of what I was talking about. And I just have it organize it for me to allow me to have a little bit better ability to kind of cut through my crazy. And I usually take it from my handwritten journal that I do all the craziness on, then I kind of read it, and then I have this. And these are a computer. And I'm hoping to create recipes with each of the sermons. And that's what you're just like, hey, you were out of alignment, making you feel bad about going live. So recognizing, what I'm forcing, right? What I was forcing at the time was the lives, because I wasn't in a place to do them. And even giving that up last year was me getting back into alignment and being with an integrity. So again, it's a lot of layers to the onion. We talk about the path, and here we go. All right, number 2, after you recognize it and you ask yourself and have the awareness of it, number 2 is surrender the need to control. That's so hard. This is a tough one. I know. Trust me. When you let go of the need to control every outcome, you create space for miracles. Carly used to tell me all the time that I was limiting source, and that was what this is about, right? Surrender the need to control. Surrender the need. Surrender. I'm just saying surrender. Surrender doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop forcing. right? Surrender doesn't mean you just throw your hand, I'm done. That's not what surrender means. It means you stop forcing things, trying to force things to happen, right? And I don't know why this just came in. I wasn't going to get off topic, but something just came in. I need to share it. What I get with this surrender, the need to control it, and what it says here, I'm going to go back and read it again. And then I'm going to say this message is for somebody, whether you find this today or you find this down the road whenever you watch it on a replay. When you let go of the need to control every outcome, you create space for miracles. Surrender doesn't mean stop trying. It means you stop forcing. And I believe someone here is in a relationship that you continue to try and you continue to try to force it. And I believe that this is the year that you stop doing that. Continue to be who you are, but stop trying to force them to be who they're not. They are showing you exactly who they are, and you either need to decide if that's the energy you want to exchange, or if it's not, stop trying to control it, stop trying to force it, either walk away. The message I just got was get off the pot or shit. And I don't know somebody that makes sense to somebody, but whoever watches this, whenever they watch it, that was a message that came in specifically for somebody watching this at some point. And I don't know if it's now or later. So anyway, sorry about that. If you're watching this and you're like, I don't prescribe to woo-woo, that was a woo-woo moment. I haven't had a message like that in a minute, so I'm kind of like, ooh, tingly. Like I'm open, I'm guessing. I took a moment this morning and I feel very much in alignment. So I feel like I'm a very open channel right now. And if some of you are watching, you'll understand what I say about open channel. Align your actions. This is a good one. I'm sorry. Yeah. Number 3. Where's number 3 at? Okay, there we go. Align your action with faith. Take action, but let it come from a place of trust and love, not fear and scarcity. For example, if you're working on a goal, focus on doing the work without obsessing over the results. What does that sound like to everybody? What does it sound like to everybody? When you are focusing on the work, but not the outcome or the results, right? Commit to the process, detach from the outcome. Commit to the process, detach from the outcome. Take action, but let it come from a place of trust and love, not fear and scarcity, right? Easy enough. Number 4, we're going to practice our gratitude. That's something that's big in my world, y'all. Gratitude is the antidote to fear. When you focus on what's already good in your life, you shift your energy from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude is power in action. Woo, tell me that's not a good one. Gratitude is power in action. And when I got that message in my journal, gratitude is power in action. Grateful Fed. That's a synchronicity to let me know that we are standing in our power, we're walking in the right path, that the Grateful Fed is what it's supposed to be, right? Number five ways to do this, right? And I wanted to give you tools to take away. And again, this entire sermon, I will be glad to share it if someone would like to have it emailed to them. I'm thinking about making this like a weekly blog post as well, where I will post it like maybe in the Sunday in the newsletter each week. Let me know what you think. If you think that's a good idea or not. Would you want that? I don't know. Or should I just keep it for me and not let y'all have it? I don't know. What do you think? I'd like to know what you think. Number 5, stay in integrity. Remember, integrity means that what you think, what you say, and what you do are in alignment. When you're in integrity, you're operating from your true self, and that's where your power lies. That's where your power lives. Your power lives in your integrity. Now, was this a message maybe for me? I don't know, but I feel like it's relevant to everyone. Power is where when you operate from your true self, when you're in integrity and operating from your true self, that's where power lives, right? That is when you are in full power. All right. Number 6, this is going back to number 3 again, right? Number 6, let me go down here. Number 6, oh, add better. I'm still sitting there not added yet. Number 6, trust the process. This is the hardest part for many of us. But trust is faith in motion. And when I grow, that's another one of those like highlighted things. Just, I love that, right? Trust is faith in motion. Trust that what's meant for you won't miss you. And what's not meant for you is being cleared to make space for something better. So many times we don't understand why. Why? Trust the process means letting go of the I don't need to know why. I trust that the universe has got my back. Whether the universe is removing people from my life, removing jobs from my life, removing housing situations, removing cars. In 2019, I lost everything. We lost everything. And the moment that I stopped shaking my fist and asking why is the moment my life turned around. The moment that I said, this is all for a higher purpose, and I would not be where I am today had I had all of the things that I thought I wanted 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Those things were impeding me from my true purpose, and even though I didn't understand why I lost all of those things, hundreds of thousands of dollars, the universe said to me, trust the process, and I did that. And as soon as I didn't, it reminded me to get my shit together. And this time it didn't take me 5 years to get there. It took me 5 months. And next time it'll take me 5 weeks. And the next time it'll take me 5 days. Hopefully then it'll move to 5 hours. Then it'll move to 5 minutes. And then maybe even 5 seconds. And then that's how you continue to go and you get better and better and better at things, right? Trust the process. Let me leave you with this. Standing in your power doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy. You'll still face challenges, but power allows you to face them with grace, resilience, and trust. Force will burn you out because God knows I was burnt out last year. Power will carry you through. Remember, power flows because it's aligned with truth and integrity. It doesn't demand, it trusts, right? So today, I invite you to ask yourself, right? I want you to ask yourself these questions, and I'd love to see you answer them if you want to in the comments, right? Am I living in faith or am I living in fear? Am I operating from power or am I forcing things out of fear? The answer to these questions can shift everything in your life. If you can get into your journal starting this year, get that puzzle out of your head and onto paper, start making sense of it, right? They can shift everything. Answer those questions this week. I'm excited to see what the crystal card's going to pull for us for that. I do want to say I thank you for being here with me today, for allowing me to share this message, and for walking this journey with me. Together, as a community, as the TAMunity, whatever you want to call it, together we rise in power, we rise in love, and we rise in faith. And until next time, I hope you will stay in your power, you will stay in your flow, and I love you all. Now, we are going to pull our crystal affirmation card, which is going to give us a message for the week. We already have some journaling prompts to do, but it gives us kind of a message of the week. We have not been in our cards in a minute, which I'm I've not touched these in a minute. I'm going to take a moment with them. I did spritz everything to clear energy. I did call in my angels, my guides, and my helpers. So if you are leaving because you don't do tarot cards or crystal affirmation cards, I get it. But if you are still here, I'm going to encourage you to do me a favor. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale, releasing your shoulders, any tension, kind of relaxing. Take a couple more of those big inhales through your nose, clearing your energy, asking that God work with you to give you the message that you need that'll resonate with you and the rest of the community. And just take a relaxing breath. I say inhale the good shit, the love, the light, the new source energy. Exhale the bullshit. All the stress and worry that doesn't need to stay with you this week, get rid of it, get out of your system, be perfect. We're going to shuffle 11 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to pull our crystal card today. And our crystal affirmation card today is Interesting. Okay. This is fun. Lepidolite, and it says, recall your dreams. So the lepidolite states to recall your dreams. We're going to read it from the book. I think that's interesting. Like, maybe you're in it out of alignment, out of power, and you have given up on your dreams. Or maybe the universe is trying to speak to you through your dreams to let you know where you're maybe out of integrity or in integrity. So lepidolite, it says, recall your dreams. Discover a new dimension of yourself by tapping into the power of the invisible dream world. There is so much information accessible to you within the symbols and storylines of your dreams. They offer a deep method of understanding and self-reflection, a way to expand beyond the physical realm and learn from your subconscious mind. Start by asking yourself a question before you go to bed and see if you can work out the answer in your dreams. When you wake, write down all the details you can recall. Making this a regular practice will allow you to access the subconscious information about yourself. I'm going to try to pull this out so you can get a good clue of that. Interesting. Maybe you should ask yourself those questions, right? Am I in power? Am I in force? Core questions. What was my last vivid dream? What happened after a dream that felt like it had a message? What messages can I uncover from my dream state? And then your crystal affirmation this week, your affirmation is, I am enlightened by messages from my dream self. The next time you wake up, recall your dreams in a journal as soon as you can. And I believe that a lot of you maybe that are struggling with power versus force, getting back into alignment. I'm going to encourage you all, I'm going to do this tonight, to ask yourself tonight before bed, take those deep cleansing breaths. Ask for your angels, guides, and helpers to come in to support you in your dream state tonight, and ask them, like, show me tonight's dream of where I'm out of alignment or where I'm in alignment, something to that effect, however you want to word it for yourself, and see what you come up with. I would love to see so many more of you back for Sunday sermon next week. Who knows what next week will bring. I'm going to allow to stand in my power and be in alignment and see where it comes from. Sunday sermon, January 5th, 2025. I love each and every one of you. And as we always end our lives, we're going to end them, we say, with a little peace, a little love, and a little feast. We're also going to end it with a little stay grateful and stay fed. If you're not already getting our newsletters, please sign up for them. If you're on my Reiki healing, my medicinal healing side of the house, please note we are taking no new clients. 2025, we are full on memberships. So if you got the newsletter from Hometown Hippie, if you got that, you're in. You must be a part of the private club to order from us. There's a membership information on the Hometown Hippie website. Grateful Fed, we are looking forward to a big 2025 where we've shrunk and we've moved things out of the way to be with an integrity. It's about healing people through food, healing people through good energy, and believing that we have the power to go out into the world. And we can't change the world, but every day we have the power to go out and change the world for one other human being. This month, the person that we are trying to change the world for, if you've seen it in the Grateful Fed page, go look. Our newsletter, we are helping a 6-year-old little boy who has some disabilities. He needs a service dog. It's very expensive. And we need to help him raise some money to get that animal. Anybody that wants to donate raffle donations, they're taking those. We're going to sell raffle tickets. We're doing on the 31st of January a big barbecue take-home dinner packs with baby back ribs and grilled barbecue bone-in chicken pieces, as well as pulled pork. We're going to have a bunch of our delicious sides with potato salad and coleslaw and macaroni and cheese and baked beans and banana puddings and all kinds of delicious items for you to take home and eat for a cause. We are really excited to see what this next chapter unfolds for all of us. But I will be here on Sunday mornings, back in integrity, understanding that part of what makes me align and whole in my heart is to come and share these messages with you, because That's part of who I am and what I do. And I have the power to believe that I'm going to be in integrity and alignment. And I hope that you walk away from this as well with that, knowing that power flows because it's aligned with truth and integrity. That's demanded trust, that you walk away this week trusting. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that I will see you all soon. And until then, stay grateful, stay fed, and I love you. Peace, love, and feast, y'all. I'll see you next time. Bye.